So, guys, we're going to go for VMware. That's the, we can say, the king of virtualization. VMware really introduced the virtualization in the market. VMware has 80% of the market share. 80% of the planet's data centers have VMware installed and ESXi. But the second best is Microsoft Hyper-V. So we started with the second best, and then we're going for the best, which is VMware. So I intend to really push with Vcenter as well, and hopefully we could accomplish all the advanced features of VMware as well. If your laptops allow that, well, I'll push it anyway. So you will get to learn a lot of things that are in the market now, and they really need those skills in you, right, when you're really applying for the job. So let's go ahead and first of all, yes, those two messy, virtual machines, we can get rid of those machines, and we can start creating two new machines which are going to have hypervisor ESXi 6.0. We do need that Windows machine as well. Now, if 2016, no, it's not if, because everyone has VMware Workstation 15.5. Everyone has Workstation. Anyone has older? 15. Anyone has less than 15? No, right? So 2012 is not going to really cooperate with us. So that's why we really need 2016, Windows 2016. So you were not able to download that. That is not good. So do. Oh, anyone? 2016. Anyone? 2016?
Yeah.
You have it?
That to a second hard.
You got external drives?
We get past two.
Yes. From the other link, Mega.
Alright, shut up.
For the key? For the key, it's asking? You're kidding me? You're asking for money? Guys, is Mega Link asking for money?
Yeah, if you don't want the limit, if you want to start beyond the limit, you pay for it.
You should have your own account, that's it, right? And that's it. So if you have your own Mega account, then... Oh, so you had your account, and then it's a free, you go to Mega, that site, and you create your own account. Oh, it was supposed to be free, but okay. Okay, guys, so let's get going. So first of all, where are the machines that we were working on? So there's that Windows 2012 machine here, and that is this machine. So it is 8 GB, right? So if you see that machine here, it's shut down already, and Virt 2200. So you can right click here and then go to manage, and do you see this? So if you click remove, they're gonna still be on your hard drive, but delete from disk will delete it from disk. So let's go ahead and delete from disk now. Everyone there? So just go ahead and say the final buys, and so it's both of those machines. Yes, and we're starting with 3 more. Yes, ma'am? Yeah, so we're done with those 2, but we're going to have 3 this time, and we're gonna really push it, but I'm just giving you more time to get it and follow the video and just put it. Now the management is saying to share those videos with other sections as well. So wow, we're deleting. Oh, so guys, did you all complete the last labs? Okay, then you're deleting this, right? Yep. If you did not complete the last labs, do not delete those machines. Maybe I'm too late now, I guess. So, okay. Obviously, if you did not delete it, yes, sir.
The last part, the fall.
I will have a heart attack.
The end of the part.
Storing virtual machine. So you're starting and it's not starting. Is that the problem?
The last part of the error message, it says fall.
Okay, when the error message comes, let me know. Okay, so yeah, let's wait for that. So guys, again, if you have not done the lab, do not delete the machine. If you've done the lab, delete the machine. Okay, so let's press yes and gone. So I'm just gonna go for the second one here, Virt2200, and let's just right click here to that machine as well. Right click, go to manage. So make sure that you have done the labs and uploaded all the labs, and then you're deleting. But I hope I'm not too late. So here, once that is done, I'm just gonna check my space because I really needed some space here. Okay. Okay, good. 48 GB. You need not enough memory in the system to start the virtual machine, so you need to change the memory here. So how much memory you give here? Oh, this memory has to be for this machine. So you can whatever memory you give according to the video, you can increase it. Suppose you give 512, so increase it to 1 megabyte or 1024. That's it. Yeah, and then try again. Good man, very good. Okay guys, so let's start creating. So now what files you already have, I'm just gonna show them and you can just compare. If you have exactly those files, everyone, you can just try to compare. If you have the ESXi hypervisor, which is VMware hypervisor here. So I'm just gonna go to those folders there, and the first file that you should have in your laptop is this one. So VMware Visor installer 6.0. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but if it's VM Visor and 6.0, you're good. So everyone has that downloaded from the links that I've shared. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing, VIM setup. Do we all have VIM setup and 6.0? If these two words are there, you're good. Okay, do not compare all the numbers there. And well, okay, that's it. With all? Oh, okay. You downloaded the Google as well.
Yeah, that was from when we started.
Cool. So guys, do we all have Google Chrome standalone enterprise.msi? Well, it's just Google. So, but when we are working on VMware, Google is our best friend. IE or Edge Explorers, IE Explorer or Edge browser, they really are annoying. So we would need Google at certain times. So if you don't have it, you can download from the net. Okay guys, so if you have this VM Visor, we're going to start installation of at least hypervisors, and we're going to try to understand what's going on when we're installing the VMware hypervisors, right? So if you have that, you're good. Let's start creating at least 2 machines with hypervisor, and then we need one more, which is Windows Server 2016. I'm going to create that diagram to explain what's going on now and why are we doing what we're doing. So 2 files. Do you have exactly this file, VM Visor in 6.0, and the VIM setup? This one, VCSA. Oh, VI client. Well, VIM setup is also there. So if you can go ahead, because today we might not be. This is a Vcenter. This is heavy, right? So it takes like 45 minutes just to install in a good laptop, right? So, well, we're gonna see. So this is, you can start downloading here, but today we might not be able to use that. We're gonna go for to the 2 hypervisors, guys. Next week is reading week. It is, right? Okay, cool. Because in the course outline, whoever created that didn't mention that. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and try to create that machine. So the diagram here that I'm gonna create is so we're gonna have 3 machines here, and one is this. That's going to be, now we're not going to install Active Directory there, we don't need that, but we still need infrastructure roles there. So there will be DNS, definitely we need DNS, we need DHCP, and then the Vcenter, the central application there, Vcenter for Windows. There's a Vcenter for Linux as well. We're going to be installing Vcenter for Windows, right? So that's a really big application, but with our hardware, we'll try to push it at least. So then we need to have two hypervisors there because we need to still try to check how to live migrate, which is called vMotion here, and how to do Hyper-V replica, which is called fault tolerance here. So then there are many other applications also. This first machine will play the role of virtual SAN, but it's also, we cannot call it vSAN. It's going to be just a software SAN. So we're going to be installing here software SAN, storage area network, and then we're going to map those LUNs to the two hypervisors. So we're going to learn that too. And that's really interesting. So, and then after that, when we really take down one of the hypervisors, you will see that it automatically fails over to the other hypervisor, the virtual machine. So, but that has to be done with SAN, right? So we're going to be adding that. It's a bit long process, but once we are done with that, you will have a good idea about how to implement SAN. So the rest of those are, well, obviously your first name, Esxi01 would be the name of the first hypervisor, and your first name is Esxi2. Try to remember that name, Esxi, and do not misspell whenever we're giving those names, because that's going to really then affect connecting to this. So anyone copying still the Windows 2016 here? So those who don't have it, are you still copying 2016? Or it's just we don't have it, that's it, right? Okay, so while we are installing Esxi, it's better to keep copying and okay. So here, let's start that Esxi. Now, what is the IP addressing we're going to give here? So first one would have 192.168.200.1 and 255.255.255.0. And then we're going to give a fake gateway here as well, 192.168.200.1, because the high availability feature will not work if you don't have a gateway there, right? So, and then PD would be, which is preferred DNS. That would be the same because the DNS we plan to implement on this machine. So that is obviously IP, that is subnet mask SM, and this is GW gateway, and that is PD, NYPD. So it's preferred DNS. Now we go ahead and we're gonna put the IP range accordingly to other machines as well, and 3, right? So, and that would be your first name, the first machine will be your first name, Win01, and that's the only Windows we have. Hopefully, we can have 3 machines there. So right now, when we install the 2 hypervisors, it's going to have minimum of 4 GB RAM and 2 processors. So that's default. Without lesser than this, it won't install. So you must have for these 2 machines this much RAM. So I hope you have upgraded. Those who haven't, those who didn't have that, you've upgraded to 16 GB. And if not, then just contact me and I'll give you the addresses. Contact those guys, get their RAM, right? So many students in other colleges also are upgrading. So you must have good hardware first if you want to survive in the field of IT. So, okay guys, this is 4 GB RAM and 2 processors here, and the static IP we're going to put there. Let's start the installation now. So here, let's go to the virtual machine, VMware workstation, and go to home here and create new virtual machine. Yay. Okay. So I hope everyone's there on the screen.
You want us to use the 2012 or wait for the 2016?
No, wait for 2016 because 2016 will let us install VMware tools. Right? 2012 is not letting us install VMware tools. Without VMware tools, we cannot copy.
Files that let me install the
In 2012? You can install VMware tools?
different file.
Oh.
Or we can wait it's another like
No, today we're... So guys, before next class, we must have 2016. So I'm just going to keep on giving you more links from maybe box.com or dropbox.com and whatever other .coms are there for storage. And also you have free Office 365. So you have 1 terabyte drive each given to you free. So I'll just try to share in OneDrive as well with Office 365 given by Durham College, right? So we have a huge storage there as well. I just should have shared it there. So guys, once you're on typical, let's click next to that. And then we need to give the path of the hypervisor ESXi. So we're just going to click browse here. And obviously go to that folder where we have the, so it will be Vmvisor and 6.0. If you see these two names there, you're good. Vmvisor 6.0. If you selected that, go ahead and double click that. Right, you got it, everyone? So let's go ahead and it should show 6.0 detected here. I hope it is showing for everyone 6.0 detected, and that's your first screenshot now. ESXi selected. ESXi selected. So the label screenshot number 1, ESXi selected. So ESXi selected. So take a screenshot on this. So that would just tell me that, okay, you did have the correct version. So it's a screenshot 1, ESXi selected. The latest one in the market is 6.7, and then in future 7.0 is coming. I don't know when. But 6.0, 6.5, 6.7. Well, there's no big changes there. But if you learn that, you will be able to easily understand others as well, because the major features are exactly the same. So ESXi selected. If that is done, let's go ahead. Oops. Yeah, Vmvisor. So it should say here, it should show here VMware ESXi 6.0 detected like this, right? Okay, let's click next. So here you can just put your name there, your first name, and the course name, Virt2200, because it's gonna appear everywhere, and today's date, and the city, province, planet. Okay, so what's the date today?
February 21st.
21st. Okay, 21Feb2020. Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh,
Did you go ahead already? No? You're following me, right? Ah, that's good. So guys, if you're done with that, now that is ESXi 1 as well. So it's going to show up there in the tab. So if we can remove this here, see this, and just type here ESXi01. So the next one would be ESXi02, right? Because it's going to show up in the tab. So from the tab, you would know right away, oh, I'm on ESXi1, oh, I'm on ESXi2 now, right? So I hope your C drive is SSD, or if your D drive is SSD, if you have 2 drives in your laptop, then you can just change C to D if you want. Otherwise, keep it like that. Well, in my case, I'm just gonna change C to D. Obviously, I have more space there. So if that is done, let's go ahead and click next. So out of habit, I'm just going for 200 GB here because it is thin provisioning. It's not going to occupy all the space. Just like dynamically expanding in Hyper-V, we have thin provisioning here. It's the same concept. When you install software, it's just going to take the space of the software. So second thing is, we discussed that already. There, that single file and multiple files. If you want to copy this virtual machine in future, so single file will grow up to whatever size is there, and if you divide it into multiple files, it will create 4 GB chunks of files, and that would be easier to copy over the network. So I'm still sticking to single file because it's less messy folder there. So if you understand what it is, you can just choose whichever you want. So if that is selected, let's click next. And there's customize hardware here, so let's click that, customize hardware. And there's that 4 GB. So right now it is okay to give it 4 GB and Medion 2 processors. It won't work without that. And it is on NAT. So it's we actually don't need internet connection. We will be going for VMnet, any of the VMnet that we select here. So go ahead and select the network adapter. That's the only change we're making. We're going to go to custom, and any of the VLANs there we can select, or any of the networks there we can select. So we can just go for VMnet 15 and be consistent. If you want other machines to communicate with that, they must all be on VMnet 15. There is no particular reason why I selected VMnet 15, but the VMnet has to be exactly the same for all the machines. That's what we need to know, right? So custom VMnet 15, 4 GB memory, 2 processors. So that's your second screenshot here. The virtual hardware configuration. So virtual hardware config of Esxi. The name is virtual hardware config of Esxi. So take a screenshot here with this configuration, so we would know that, okay, this is what we did. Virtual hardware config for Esxi. Well, guys, if that has been written, let's go ahead. So virtual hardware config on Esxi. I hope everyone has written that. Let's go ahead. Okay, guys, so here 4 GB and 2 procs, and it's VMnet 15 now. Actually, if it's showing here, it's okay. Otherwise, if you click anywhere else, then it shows here as well. So let's click. If it's done, go ahead and click close. We're all done, right? Yeah. Up. Good. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and click close. So now we'll just click finish and power on. Okay, so it's pretty much a Linux installation. If you have ever installed Linux before, maybe you've done the course of Linux. So this is all keyboard based from here. Cool. Oh, so then this is a Linux touch you're gonna get. So 6.0 is based on SUSE Linux Enterprise 11 version. So there are many flavors of Linux: Red Hat, Ubuntu, Kali Linux, and then there is SUSE Linux as well, and it's Enterprise 11 version. Right? So now installation starts. How many still do not have Windows Server 2016? Are you copying that? There is a drive going from one student to another. So hopefully the drive is with someone right now and you're copying. So we can have an online class next week, and we're going. Okay, yeah. Why do I even start? Yeah, you're all invited on barbecue as well. Okay. So guys, while we are staring at it, we can just start the second one, but it might go slower. Although we're just giving 4 GB RAM extra, so it is doable, right? So what we can do is start the next hypervisor installation as well. It's just 4 GB, right? So let's go to the home button again. While it is loading here, let's go to the home button and let's click create new virtual machine again. So let's click the new create virtual machine and click typical again. So instead of waiting for the first one to fully reach some page there, so now you already have, when you reach the typical, you already have that Esxi 6.0 detected, right? Everyone has that. So we're starting the second one and click next.
Oh, same thing?
Yeah, it's just 2. So this name again, it will be ESXi02 dash your first name dash today's the course name Virt2200, and then It's 21Feb2020. Okay, if you have given that name, in my case, I'm just gonna put it on D. You can just keep it on C. Okay, guys. So here, if you have put in that information, we're good, right? So let's click next. Okay, let's click next here, and obviously we're gonna give here 200 GB and single file. 200 GB single file. We're good, and click next. And let's go to customize hardware here as well. And that would be our screenshot for once we're done with it. So, or 3. So 4 GB RAM is good, processor 2 are good, network adapter if we go, so we're just going consistent with the network configuration Vmware15 here. And just click anywhere else, it's going to show up here as well. So that's your next screenshot. Hey, does it show you the name of the machine here? Nope. Okay, bad idea. No, then, Oh, thank you, ma'am. So, guys, don't take a screenshot here. Click close. So, just once click close. This is summary. We need a screenshot of that, right? I hope you were not fast to click close and finish as well. Just take a screenshot here. Thank you for that. And take a screenshot and, well, it's second ESXi configured. So take a screenshot here, second ESXi configured. Well, about to be configured. So, but second ESXi configured. So take a screenshot here, second ESXi configured. That's your screenshot number 3. Okay, if that is done, let's go ahead. Second ESXi configured. I hope everyone has put in that information. And let's go ahead. Okay, so let's click finish. And start that. Now our laptops will be brutally slow. Okay, while this is starting, let's go for the first one. Is it on this page? It's just, after that it's enter, 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 next, next, next. Nothing much there. So if you, let's switch back to the first one, and if you see that, just click on top of that from the mouse so it could select that virtual screen and press enter on the keyboard. And then it asks for F11. For some of us it is FNF11 for laptops. For some of us it is just F11, right? So function key and F11 might work for you. In some laptops it is like that. So for me it is FN F11. So press enter and then FN F11 or F11, whichever. Okay, so that's it. Well, it's just selecting that Vmware virtual as, so it's press enter. It's just saying that, hey, you want to make more partitions, or you want to just see more details of the disk, but we don't want to, so just simply press enter. And yes, it is US default. No, Swiss French or Swiss German. Okay, so let's press enter there as well, right? And the password is class password, or whatever you give, don't forget it. We cannot crack ESXi. It's not very easy to crack ESXi. Windows, yes, no problem. ESXi, big problem. So the password, class password was, if you want to be consistent and you want me to remind you later if you, in case you forget. So it's small ABC, capital ABC, keep pressing shift, 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir?
I can make my own password?
Yes, sir. Just do not forget this. So you can use the class password or whatever you put, don't forget it. Okay, so let's get going. So root password here, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3. and down arrow here, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3, and press enter. Oh, echo, yeah. So that's it, guys. It's F11 again, so to install, and exactly those steps on the other hypervisor as well. So I'm just gonna press, in my case, F11, and it installed. It's a really small software, but tasks are immense. We really need to have that Windows. So now, how many doesn't have Windows 2016? They're copying, right? Oh, everyone who did not raise hand, you all have 2016. This means
You want us,
good.
You want us to configure ESXi number 2?
Yes, sir. We're gonna do exactly the same thing. If you know what to do, go ahead.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay, guys. So I'm just gonna go to ESXi 2 now, so we don't have to really see that. So let's go to 2, and exactly the same steps we did take on 1. So go ahead, press enter for the first page, F11 for the second page, and give password, enter, next. Shut down?
I have to move the file.
Oh.
It ended up in my documents. I wanted it elsewhere.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You have to shut down. So press enter here for the drive, and US default, and root password. So small ABC, shift 1, 2, 3. Just make sure you remember the password, because we're going to be logging into ESXi a lot. I hope you have. If for consistency, you go for a class password, or just don't forget your password. Or reinstalling is not a very long task for ESXi. It's a small software. So F11 for the final install. So the 2 installations are now going on. I'll check the first one, ESXi01. I hope everyone's on the 90%. Oh, yes. Oh, thought you will be saying no. Yes, right? Hey, it's flying. Did you upgrade? It's i7 processor?
No, it's i5 7th generation.
Wow. Okay, that's good speed. Oh, this Vcenter. So guys, your laptop must be 16 GB. As we go ahead now, big application is coming. That is Vcenter. So it's going to be taking forever. It's going to take forever. 8 GB, no, you can't, because we need to give as much memory to the Vcenter.
It's like that awkward laugh.
Oh yeah, go ahead. But this time you won't survive, because we did not install in Microsoft the big application. Here we're gonna install the big application. That application takes 45 minutes on a fast laptop. 45 minutes just to install. So from? Oh, it will be after the reading week. So if you want that address, I'll give you at the end of the class how to upgrade the RAM. Yeah, did I give you the address already? Okay, so guys, those whose laptops are not 16 GB, after reading week we're going to be installing Vcenter, and that's going to take long time, and it really need a lot of RAM. So okay, if my ESXi01 is on reboot, so let's just press enter here and do the final reboot on ESXi1. I hope everyone's there. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna shut down and reboot. So ESXi2 is on 90% for me as well. But if you have already reached the reboot, just go ahead and press enter. So it takes some time on the 90%. Oh, it's there while I was saying that. So it's on the reboot as well. Go ahead and press enter. So both are rebooting. They're gonna take forever now. So according to our diagram here, so these two need to be configured with the static IP carefully. They need to be given a name, and they need to be given a DNS suffix as well. So obviously static IP we're going to give to both hypervisors. We're going to give a name to the hypervisor, because we need to access those hypervisors by name, and we're going to give DNS suffix as well. So anyone knows what's DNS suffix? Yes, you're right. Exactly. Oh, sorry. Nobody said anything. DNS suffix is just the ending name of the domain. So suppose you gave a domain name. So it was Durham.local. So the server1.durham.local is FQDN, but its DNS suffix is Durham.local, right? So ending part of the domain is DNS suffix. So we need to give some DNS suffix here. So their full name will be Esxi01 dot whatever domain name or DNS suffix you give at the end. So last time we created a domain as well. Okay, yeah, that was your first name domain, right? So we can stick to that. So your first name domain as a DNS suffix. So our Esxi1 when it is given a name, so it will look something like Esxi01 dot your first name domain dot local. So why? Because we need to give consistent naming convention even to non-Microsoft applications and software. So if your printer is PRT01 or your first name domain dot local, your file server, Windows file server is FS01 dot your first name domain dot local. So Esxi will also look like it is part of our network, our domain, while it will not be joining the domain. We will not even have a domain. So Microsoft domain I'm talking about. And you will see that strangely VMware uses the same terminology. VMware also asks to create a domain, and VMware clearly says that, hey, our domain is not related to Microsoft domain, but they call it the same thing. So the Windows administrator can understand that, okay, when we install VMware, oh, they also call it a domain. Their network is called domain as well. Okay, so DNS suffix, I'm just gonna put that up there. So that would be your first name domain. Now, if it is reached that screen, okay, it has fully started for everyone. All right. So it has fully started for everyone. Not okay. Not right. It looks like this. Yeah. It looks like this. Then you can decide, right? You're showing me. I trust you. Cool. Okay. So if everyone's there, so this portion is called DCUI. Okay. So direct console user interface, it is called, and this is just like BIOS of a hardware. So there we can just configure the basic settings of the hypervisors. So how to go inside Esxi1, and then we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to do basic configurations of this hypervisor. So we're going to click on Esxi1 and then press F2 to go inside. It's going to ask for your username password, just like Linux asks, and the username is always root, and the password whatever you gave during the installation, right? So press F2. In my case, I think it's F2. Yeah. So it pops up here like this. And yes, hopefully you remember your password. Oh, I forgot. All right. Yeah. So hopefully we're logged in. Good. Enter. Let's press enter. Everyone got, okay, well, it's too late to ask, but everyone got the 169 address because we don't have a local DHCP. Okay, guys, so here, let's go down to the configure management network. So there's that local host on the right side you can see, and then you can see the IP address. Because we don't have a DHCP, it got 169. I think everyone got 169, and that IPv6 version of that. So then second thing is restart management network, and that is once you configure your network settings, then if you restart that, it just refreshes all the configuration. Suppose there were virtual machines on top of this hypervisor, so those virtual machines will be disconnected if you restart management network, because the network will not be available for that hypervisor. Test management network, if you want to check that this hypervisor is connected to your network, so you can then do the test and it will start pinging to the gateway or any IP you offer. Network restore options, and that is whatever you've configured, you want to put it back to factory defaults. so it's gonna put it back to factory defaults, right? Configure keyboard, US default, we already configured that, but you can change the language if you want. Troubleshooting options, so you wanna connect from the ESXi shell with the command line interface. You can do that too remotely if you wanna connect to that securely. So, and then there is that view system logs. So this is if suppose there was a problem, the hardware crash happened and you are told to investigate, then you connect to the hypervisor directly and you go to view system logs and then syslogs, VM kernel, config, management agent. So all those you can just try to grab the logs and check that what happened last night. Suppose it restarted last night and you wanted to investigate. And then there is that view support information. So this has just the certificate information that you can check that, hey, are we connected to the correct hypervisor here? And you will have that. This is a self-signed certificate right now, but normally you purchase a certificate from any CA or certificate authority like GoDaddy.com or digicert.com or verisign.com. So you purchase a certificate from there, then you install it here. But this is a self-signed certificate right now, which is just offering encryption and authentication. And then again, reset system configuration. You want to just remove the whole configuration. It's good. So, well, you can do that from here. But let's just go up to configure management network. Right? So let's press enter there. And then it's asking for, first of all, it's showing there that you have one physical NIC. So it just considers the physical NIC or names it as VMNIC0. So later we're going to be actually adding 8 more NICs here. 8 more. So because yeah,
That's a lot of mix.
yeah, why? Why would you need multiple NICs on a hypervisor?
For VMs, hypervisor.
Like each VM will not have one NIC, but you must have a lot of NICs for certain configurations. Anyone knows what is that? What do you do with
For the SAN.
for this? Okay, for the SAN would be
That's
2
a
NICs.
word I've heard before in this class.
Would be 2 NICs.
Yeah. That. What about the rest of the NICs? 6 more NICs or 8 more NICs. Why do we have so many NICs in any server? For NIC teaming.
Yeah, NIC team.
So NIC teaming offers what? LBFO, not LCBO, LBFO, right? Load balancing and failover. Exactly. So one network card goes down, other network cards keep the show running, keep the traffic going, right? So that's why we're gonna have 8 NICs later. But okay, so VLAN, yes, we can give a VLAN, but right now we don't need it. So let's go down to IPv4 setting here, which is on a PIPA or 169.254, which means no DHCP communication. So let's go over IPv4 and press enter here. Go ahead and press enter on IPv4. So we need to give static IP configuration here. So we'll just go down to this and press the space bar to select set static IPv4 here. Once you select that, set static IPv4, then go further down here and just put your IP there, 192.168.200.2 exactly. It's gonna be 2. And subnet mask would be then as well. We need to change that. You can just go for 255, 255, 255. Third octet would be also 255. And yeehaw, exactly. 192.168.200.1 is a fake gateway. We don't have any such device here. We're gonna give that. If you press enter, it's gonna save it. If you press escape, it's not gonna save it. So be careful, right? So presses no, enter. So guys, only press enter, and you're good, right? So it the IP is showing there. Let's go for well, V6. We're not configuring V6 here. Let's go down to DNS configuration. Everyone on DNS configuration? So press enter here.
Have you already messed it up?
So primary DNS server is 192.168.200.1, and we don't have an well, we don't even have a primary DNS server, but we will in future have this. So host name is your first name ESXi01. It's a bit long name. So make sure, because we're going to be creating A records for this when we do have a DNS server. So that A record must have the exact same spellings as what you type here. So do remember at that time, or we're going to come back here and confirm. So if you have given the primary DNS here and the host name here, so let's press enter to save it. Do not press escape here. Just press enter here to save it. So done. And let's go for the DNS suffix as well, which is according to the diagram. So let's go down to custom DNS suffix and press enter here as well. And the suffixes, well, we're going to name it your first name domain. Your first name domain.local, as we did that in Microsoft environment. We're going to name it here the same thing. Although that domain does not even exist, right? Not yet, exactly. DNS server IP? Okay. So it's your first name, ESXi01. DNS server name? No, DNS server name we didn't give.
It's all with you.
No. There's no name. It's IP.
We're measuring the distance of inches.
You guys
They're not even that interesting.
You guys didn't take interest in anything until we mentioned.
Yeah, 'cause that's all I heard.
It's almost an interesting YouTube video lecture.
Just remember though. Just remember.
You're only interested in oh, respect.
And that is your first name. Okay, guys, so, oops. Did we press OK here? Okay, go ahead and press OK here. Now, just double check your full configuration. So, custom DNS suffixes on the right side is showing there. If you go up, DNS configuration is showing there. Primary DNS server, just check your IP and the host name especially. If that is good, then go up there, IPv4, check that too. So once that is all done there, so now in order to save this all, we have to just press escape once. In order to save this all, we need to press escape just once. You press enter, it's not going to do anything, right? So in order to save this all, I'm just going to press escape once now. And it's going to show up this configure management network. Yes, so the Y key has to be pressed on the keyboard. Why? Right? Now it is safe. So it is configured and you should be out on configure management network, and that's your screenshot number 4. So ESXi1 configured. Wow, did we put that name before as well? Okay. ESXi1 final configuration config. We can just change it to ESXi final config. ESXi final config. Oh, well, if I keep changing those, so then, yeah. So ESXi final, but it is final config. So I hope everyone is copying 2016. Everyone is copying. There's a drive going on somewhere, and everyone's copying 2016.
They had Earth for a while for the anniversary.
Oops.
Took it off and changed it to game on Earth.
Sorry, guys. So guys, it's ESXi1 because ESXi2 at the same stage. We're going to name that screenshot. So this is ESXi1, right? So I forgot to mention that because the second ESXi on the same stage, we're going to take another screenshot. So that would be then ESXi 2. So just change it to ESXi 1 final config instead of just ESXi config. Ouch. Submit it as well? Where? I didn't even open that. Okay.
You just found a way, dude.
Hacker. Oh. Hey, you don't know grades, right? You don't access grades in DC. Okay.
You can do it.
ESXi01 final config, right? And obviously the next screenshot, I'm just putting it. Oh, well, I'll put it that way when we're done with that. Okay, guys. So let's go back to our. This one is done, and if you want to go out of this, so it's one more escape, but it's not gonna ask you to save anything. You've already saved. Once you press Y, that's good enough. Now, if you just press escape, it's gonna just come back to the main screen. That is this screen, which is called DCUI or Direct Console User Interface. So if you keep on pressing escape, it's there, and that's where we should be. Let's go for the second ESXi and configure the same thing there. So let's click ESXi 2, and we're gonna log into this. So FNF2 or F2. And once you press enter,
Hold up.
okay, so configure management network, guys. Configure management network, and we're going to go inside configure management network, press enter. So it's VMX 0 only. Let's go down to IPv4, and we know the drill here. So let's keep going to IPv4, enter. Just be careful. If we are fast, we should still be careful that we're not making a mistake. Otherwise, we won't be able to remotely connect to that. We need to remotely connect to both of these. So set static IPv4 and then go down to 192.168.200.3. And then we go down to down arrow, then left arrow, and we go for 255 here. And 192.168.200.1. Okay, so if you have done that, we know what to do. Just press enter to save this configuration. And then we go further down to DNS configuration. So hopefully everyone's there, and press enter and go and put the same settings, 192.168.200.1. It's the same configuration, but make sure that you're correctly putting that. So your first name, ESXi02. Make sure it is ESXi02 because we're going to create DNS records later. So just remember this. Okay, so in order to save it, we know what to do. Just press enter, right? So go ahead and press enter. And then we go down to custom Dns suffixes here. Just to have a consistent naming convention for the network. Suppose you have 200 hypervisors, so they should all have some consistent naming convention. So let's just press enter to custom DNS suffixes, and exactly the same thing we wrote there. Your first name domain dot local, right? Your first name domain dot local. And then press enter for this one as well. Wherever your spellings might be wrong, so you won't be able to connect later. So here we really want to make sure that our spellings are correct for everything. Enter. And now first we double check that on the right side you can see the domain name. Then you go up and 200.1. Just make sure it's not 193 or 169. And it's your first name is ESXi02. Okay, and then IPv4 you got 200.3, 200.1. We're good, right? So if all this is good, just press escape once to save it all. Press escape once and press Y. All right. So, well. Oh yeah, exactly. So did we take a screenshot on this page, right?
Yeah, it was this page.
Okay, so this page screenshot, guys, and it's the same name again, but with Esxi2. So take a screenshot here, and the name was, yeah, Esxi02 final config. Esxi02 final config. Screenshot number 5. 5 is 5, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, 2. Esxi02. Right? Okay, so let's get going, and well, hopefully everyone has 2016. Let's just get it going as well. Hopefully it installs today, and it's 316 already. So both of the hypervisors are good, and let's click the home button again and quickly start the third machine, that is Windows 2016. Yay. Okay, so let's click create a new virtual machine here, and hopefully everyone's on this page,
We just left the other ones running, right?
which is okay. Yeah, so 4 GB already taken, so you already have 8 GB taken, and we need to give this machine at least 4 GB minimum, just to go ahead, and later we need to extend it to 6 or 8 GB separately for this one. It's already going to be total of 16, so we can just adjust the RAM later. So it's the RAM, it's always the RAM. Okay guys, so let's click typical here. So those who have 8 GB, you can give 2 GB for this machine, or guys, if you want to speed up, we can just shut down the 2 hypervisors temporarily, because they're just taking up RAM, and we can give all the RAM to this, so it could just really get configured fast, right? So always we just have to adjust the RAM. As a virtualization admin, you will always have to juggle between RAM and processor, and just shut down. So I'm just going to cancel out from here first, and these 2 are fully configured. We're good with them, and we're not using until we have a 2016 in place, so we could remotely connect to them later from 2016, right? We cannot, we have to have some remote connection to create virtual machines in GUI. So that's why let's right click on Esxi01, go to power, and suspend guest. Well, suspend guest would be better, because you can recover fast. So now
Suspend the guest, it does not take the memory as well.
no, now it's not going to take memory. Suspend just freezes all the configuration that you were at, whichever page you were, it freezes that. It takes a little more disk space, hard disk space, but RAM is now free, right? So now temporarily we can give a lot of RAM to 2016 machine only, so we can get it up and running before the class time ends. So I'm just gonna click home again. If you've shut down or suspended the machine, that's good, and click home and click create new virtual machine. So typical, and then we go to next, and yes, 2016, hopefully everyone has that. So let's quick browse here and go for that 2016, right? So I'll just go to my folder structure.
You're already crying. Oh, my shit has been
2016. So I hope it is showing everyone that Windows Server 2016 detected here, and let's click next. Let's click next. Do we all see this page? Oh yeah, ours is, yeah. So we don't really need to have to put a product key there, and your first name is already showing there, right?
Yeah.
So,
Name is already shown.
okay. Last name is also good. So let's just keep going and click next. Nothing to select,
We are
but
doing data center.
yes, everyone sees data center here, which is good. Okay. So let's click next. And it says, hey, you're going ahead without a product key. You're kidding me? So we're going to say yes, we're kidding you. So press yes. And then, yep, so the machine name itself would be your first name, Win01. So we can just put it to the machine name, dash, and then your course name, Virt2200, and today's date is 21Feb2020. All right, so data center.
Really?
Oh, it's too late, right?
No.
There's data center.
I can still select it.
Cool.
Data center?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, if you selected standard, then you can go back and select data center. Okay, guys. So if you have, put that. Let's click next. Let's click next if this is done. And yes, out of habit 200 because it's thin provisioning and single file. Let's go ahead. Right. Next. And customize hardware. So now we can give enough memory, so we can just give 8 GB. Those who want to give more, you can give more, it's temporary. And processors are already 2, which is good.
So we have 8 GB, we can give 4.
Yeah. And yes, we're definitely upgrading our laptop, right? Must, right? Yeah, so at the end of the class, I will give you the contact. Please contact that person and get their RAM as soon as possible before the next class. Please have it there, right?
But i5 is fine, right? i5 is fine.
i5 is good.
Say goodbye, laptop.
Okay, guys, so if it is 8 GB, let's click anywhere else. Then go for processor 2, which is good. So processor is 2 processors here if it is already showing there. If not, then just change it to 2. And the next is network adapter. Let's keep it to the same network, which is Vmware15. So 8 gigs RAM, 2 processor, and Vmware15. That's what we did with the other machines as well. Let's go ahead. If that is done, the next screen I need a screenshot, so don't go fast on that. So just click close here, and on the summary we need a screenshot. So I'm just gonna click close only once here, and this is the screen we need a screenshot on. Take a screenshot here. So Windows machine, Windows VM summary. We can just call it Windows VM summary.
Since my RAM went to like 100 and then stopped last time.
Literally. Last night.
Okay, Windows VM summary, guys. So if that's done, let's go ahead and it's 323. Hopefully installs today. Okay, so if that's done, let's click finito.
Your memory is like 8,000.
8 GB. This one? Yeah, just put 8 and whatever number is following is okay. Okay, yep.
Or can we just keep it at the 2,000 megs?
Oh, you have 2 GB. It's gonna take forever then. So we're temporarily.
He has 32.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just won't.
You have 32 GB RAM.
Yeah.
Okay, just give it 31. So you'll be the first one to. No, that's
No, because
that.
it takes
That's
forever to load back up from a pause.
no, like not 31, at least 24. So you will be the first one to finish, right? So let's click the finito here, guys.
It's already, yep.
Okay, so I hope no error comes here. Windows error really are annoying.
Oh. Download. Sure.
Ooh, you're right too.
So it's not mine, right? Someone, some
We'll see
other.
when we get there, right?
Wait.
Standard is okay. Standard is okay.
No, because it's the same key. You can, or it's not the same key, but it's the same drive. 100%. Trust me.
Now,
Okay.
Yeah.
Then why did I pick data center and it's saying only giving me standard?
Because you're just standard.
Oh, yeah.
And you should have some.
Trust me.
oh, it started. Okay.
We don't need these anymore, right? As long as they're done. The old ones, the 2012s.
No. If you've done the lab, yeah, delete them.
I think I have a just gonna check.
If you have uploaded everything, we don't need the old machines.
I think I have, right?
What? I don't know. What are you talking to me?
Yes, you.
Why?
Because you helped me with the last one.
What's your question?
I finished all my Virt labs.
Yes, sir.
Nothing
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you.
What? Error?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm still trying to find it was
That's
bad.
when we finished that last lab.
Still hasn't suspended.
Yeah. We don't ready to go.
This class.
Yes.
What lab was it?
Hey, mine didn't. I'm at the same spot you are. Mine didn't say, do you want to stick
It's
with
okay. He has a higher max hit than I do, so I'm not scared.
Mine didn't ask.
Oh, bro, let's go back to the British. So.
Shit.
I'm in Stronghold, so I can
Oh, do it again then.
But I killed too slow for a long time.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm doing range.
Yeah.
Don't shut it down.
It's the only place you can really. Yeah. Yeah, so I get that free 10. Yes.
And that's Virt2200.
These minotaurs are way harder. Never mind, I can't
So sorry.
Yeah, right.
Just say Minotaurs.
Oh yeah, give
You can tell I'm used to it.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous. And you have to change the name. You have to keep the name as random because you can't have the name as
Oh, sorry. Okay. And yeah, okay. Yeah, the Yoshis are now. Okay.
I like magic.
Yeah, 32. Oh.
Also, it's not the same.
No, it's not the same key. You're right. But it's the same. It's the same ISO.
No, I don't think
Devani, why is your why is your profile photo fucking almost?
you know how long it's been there? I heard Elmo. I'm not gonna lie. Why? What do you mean why?
Why is it like you?
I don't know.
I don't know, picture of you or something. Not just fucking like weird ass Elmo.
It was a funny picture.
It's I don't
You
know.
should have been there when she first thought of it.
Huh?
What's the funny meme?
It was not a funny meme. I changed my.
Did you put in your product? That's why.
Yes,
It chooses automatically which it installs and
Yes.
you put in a key.
That's what was going on with my Windows 10 education.
Because you're putting in the education key, even though you can pick whatever you want, it's just going to force education.
Exactly. Fuck you, Microsoft.
Alright.
Okay, everyone done?
No, check. We are at 52%.
Oh, okay.
I just started listening.
Ooh.
Not enough.
Well, have you tried giving a
8 gigabytes.
Have you tried
Turning it
downloading
on.
more RAM?
Well, you have to install something on that server before you can download more RAM.
Well, it's installing the Vmware tools automatically or auto-magically. That is the thing we needed. Vmware tools. That's why I asked for 2016.
Yeah, definitely.
You have a file you were saying that installed on. So that's a script or utility or
It's the file
update.
done in the professor that gave us that file and we export that file.
After that, that's
It's a different ISO.
yeah.
So there was something wrong with the ISO that we had.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what's that?
Okay, so that update. So guys, if you reach this, if you ever reach that today, so you should press yes to this. Whenever you reach here, press yes.
You must restart your system.
Exactly. For VMware tools, it needs a restart. Yes, sir.
Downloading this.
Oh yeah. So
Do it like once
I'm very
That's us. Me making your sister take my tequila.
I know.
that's actually yeah.
So I hope everyone's done.
I told the guys I don't want to take my shot, and then they're like, take it off. Why'd you want to do it? I would have been yakking you in the front seat.
We done?
No, instead I was waiting for 30 minutes outside for whatever.
So I hope everyone's done. Not done. Oh, you're done. Good. Done.
It's got a fresh
This page.
computer with 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay, so only 3 are done. 4 not started. What? Oh, like it's starting or finishing. Okay, you're done. 4 are done. Oh, don't count on it, man. Don't count on it.
Last weekend.
Oh, so the processor is good. And SSD. Oh, yeah. So, guys, it's very crucial to upgrade your RAM. Otherwise, the next software will not work. You must have minimum 16. Minimum 16. If you want the address of that guy who sells, you can ask me as well, or Kijiji8.
My old one?
Huh?
My old one?
Yeah.
You already took, can I borrow your RAM?
No, he put it in this one.
It's in this one.
Give me your RAM. Give me your RAM.
Try to do
I wasn't asking.
What do you have in there?
That's some good RAM. You got somebody.
Oh my god, no, it's installing.
Can I see your RAM? It looks pretty cool.
There's 16 in my old one.
You got 16 RAM?
16 RAMs.
16 whole RAMs.
Can
Usually,
I take a singular RAM?
usually I'm done after 4, but
I had two.
Your poor girlfriend, but why did she scream like that?
So guys, those who are done with Windows installation, you can see that there's a name here. The operating system name has to be your first name Win01 and restart, and give a static IP there, right? So that static IP you need to give and name there. So do that, and then we'll, because so many are, yeah, that's the first one here. You need to give that this name and this static IP to the machine. Those who are done, I hope we all know how to do that. And I'll pause and resume that. And if anyone is putting the DHCP already, you can just use this range. But my suggestion is that in next class we're going to do it together. Here I'm just going to go to put the static IP as well. I'm going to go to local server here, and go to Ethernet 0. So the screenshot would be just the local server once configured with rename, and the last screenshot obviously would be the local server where correct name is given and correct static IP is showing. That would be the last screenshot where correct renamed machine is showing and the correct static IP. So I'm going to give that, rename and restart, and then I'm going to come back here, click the local server. We need a screenshot of that. So your first name Win01 is configured, we can say. Just going to go for Ethernet 0 properties, uncheck V6 out of a bad habit, and double click V4. If you don't uncheck V6, it's okay, it works fine. It's just that troubleshooting will be, yeah. 192.168.200.1 is the static IP now. Tab 192.168.200.1, the fake gateway. Tab 192.168.200.1, the DNS. I hope everyone's done that, and pressing OK now. If anyone's doing now, yeah, everyone's done, I guess. I can go ahead, right?
1 minute.
Okay. Good, right? Good. Okay.
Easy stonks.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'll be saying that recording is on, just for for future reference. Yeah. So, hey guys. So well, this is done. So I'm just gonna press OK here, right? Everyone's okay, right? So and OK, and close here. Now just the rename thing. So I'm still in local server here. I'm gonna go for computer name here. Click that, right? And click change, and so here your first name Win01. Okay, restart. That's it.
Okay.
So okay. Obviously we don't have a domain, so and okay and close. Restart now. So after, when it comes back, just go to the local server in server manager, take a screenshot, screenshot finale, right?
It happened last time. What
do you want to call a screenshot?
So your first name Win01 configured, we can say. Final screenshot is your first name 1. If you're on local server here, your correct name and static IP is showing here. Take a screenshot there, and your first name Win01 configured. That's the name of the screenshot. Your first name Win01 configured. Next class we're going to install SAN and the Vcenter. So that's going to be exciting.
Next class will be Monday. So
Next class, like after 1 week, yeah. Next.
it's just 1 hour class. It's just 1 hour class.
Oh yeah, it's next class. The Monday is a lecture, obviously. The Friday is the lab. Hey guys, so screenshot taken. So this page screenshot, just go ahead and take it, and screenshot name I'm just putting here.
We can turn off the
Yes, sir.
What? I don't know.
Oh, okay. So your first name Win01 configured. Although we need DHCP DNS, so we're gonna do that together in next class. And okay, if that name has been written, I'm just gonna put that link up there so you could just upload. All right. So I hope everyone got the name. So I'll just, yes sir. For this, yeah, screenshot good. Yeah, this screenshot is the final one. If you take it, you're good. Oh, title for that screenshot you're saying? Ah, no. Okay guys, so let me just, so it's done, and I'm just gonna pause now.